So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in. So today what we're going to cover is how is it like maintaining a pond when you have 100-degree weather. So if you don't know, if you're not from Texas, we had a significant heat wave come through that lasted pretty much a full week. I know a lot of people are probably going to be curious, you know, how much water do you lose? How do you maintain the water during a week like that? And what are some of the biggest causes for water loss, especially with a week like that? And there's a couple of different things that will suck water out of the pond that I have to kind of keep up with. Now, some you can kind of eliminate, some you can't, some, you know, just naturally forming, but some you can, but it's up to you. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get into it. So if you gain any value from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I know a lot of you guys like pond videos and how to structure your pond, how to take care of your pond, maintenance of pond, all that good stuff. So I thought I'd come underneath the shade and kind of make a quick video. But so we had high temperatures this whole past week. I think the highest we got was like 108. May have gone maybe 109 in, you know, particular parts of the property maybe. But it got really hot and it stayed pretty much hot the whole time. In the mornings it was still in the high 80s, so it was still relatively warm. And again, the day's also been longer too, so it stays hot for a very long time. Even in the evenings, once the sun had gone down, it was still in the high 90s, like 93, 94. It was still felt sticky, still felt nasty. So long story short, it was really hot last week. We started losing water, but what I did to kind of maintain it is to just run the pump. I ran the pump pretty much the start of the heat wave, and they just ran it all the way through. I still have it going right now. The heat wave is already kind of tapering off, but just in a day I noticed, you know, we lost on the bank of the pond. You can see where the water was and where it used to be, and I was like, no, I better go ahead and turn on the well. So the things that really affect it too are going to be the wind. Like today we have a windy day, and you combine the wind and the heat, it really affects the water levels in a pond. Now, I know people are gonna ask, well, you can always add a pond liner. Yeah, you can add a pond liner. I just rather keep everything natural. I really don't care for a pond liner. Maybe if I had like a little backyard pond, I'd probably do it with some koi fish or something. It's probably not a bad idea, but for something like this, I really don't care to have one. I like the natural look and the natural feel for it. Also produces some nutrients for the fish as well. But the wind, when you have a hot day, the wind is just moving the water, and it's kind of coming to the bank and receding back, coming to the bank and receding back. Well, every time it's doing that, the soil on the bank is picking up that moisture and it's soaking it in. So you're losing more water on a windy day than a naturally calm day. So that's something to consider. So if you know you're gonna have windy days, you can always look at your AccuWeather or whatever weather app you have. And if you have very windy days, you can likely expect a little bit more water loss. Now, on top of that, we're here in Texas, so we had 100 and something degree weather pretty much the whole week. So the heat just, you know, the heat's going to evaporate a lot of that water as well. And we lost quite a bit of water. I mean, I could see on the bank how much water we lost. It was probably an inch or two of water all the way around. So you multiply that by the size of the pond, and that's a lot of water loss. That's generally not common for the pond. We usually don't lose that much water, but again, given the circumstances, windy plus really hot, yeah. And the temperatures didn't really cool at night either, so that doesn't help. Now, aside from just like that week alone, we still have a bunch of trees. I mean, as you can tell, I mean, there's a bunch of trees in here everywhere. So the trees alone are going to suck up a lot of water as well. And my feet are getting tired from kneeling like that, but the trees alone are going to suck up a lot of water, so that's something to keep in mind. I like it though. I don't mind it. I don't mind supplying these guys with moisture, especially these trees right here, these like hackberry trees. They hold a lot of moisture too. Mesquites do a little bit, but not as much, but these definitely hold more water. You can just tell when you cut them down that they hold a lot more water. So that's something to consider when you are making your pond too, is if you want trees, just be aware you're gonna have to add a little bit more water because they are, you know, living things. They need water to live. Now, something I'll quickly kind of note, especially on a week like what we just had, is you don't want to wait too late for the pond to get too low, especially if you don't have like if you have like a big pond and you have a 10-gallon per minute well. It's going to take forever to fill up. But one thing is, you don't want the water to get too low, because it'll start choking the fish, or basically start depleting them of oxygen in the pond, because there's less water, so the water will heat up faster, and the heat starts to pull oxygen out of the water. So it basically just puts a chokehold on the fish, and you can have a really easy fish kill. I know on a lot of ranches we used to work at when I was younger, and like in high school and stuff like that, they necessarily didn't have wells to take care of the ponds. They were usually just fed by runoff. But obviously in a week like what we had just had, that's when you would usually see the fish kills on those ponds that relied on runoff, because they would just start going down so far. Again, they didn't have pond liners either, but they would start just depleting the water, and eventually the water would just get too warm because there's not enough water to keep it cool, and there would be fish kills. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. I know a lot of people on my channel are first-time pond builders, or first-time owning a property, owning a ranch or something like that. I get a lot of comments like that as well, that a lot of people are just building their pond. So just little things like that. Again, if you have a large pond, like I was saying in the earlier, if you have a large pond and you have like a small well that's maybe pumping out 10 gallons per minute, just remember, if you let the pond get too low, it's going to take forever to fill back up with a 10-gallon per minute well. Now, if you have like a 100-gallon per minute well and a decent sized pond, you can probably fill it up relatively quickly. But that's just some quick information to kind of be aware of, because you don't want to put all that money, all that investment that you made into the pond as far as fish goes, and then you have 1 week like what we just had, and it just depletes everything you just worked so hard to get to put in there. All the money you put into the fish, all the time you put into getting the fish, all the time you put into building the pond, and then you have 1 week that just destroys it. So again, it's probably going to still stay pretty warm for us here this week. So it's the start of the new week that I'm making this video. It's still going to be pretty warm. Today's actually a cloudy day, so we'll see how it turns out for the rest of the day. But it's going to be tapering off, so it pretty much started, like a little bell curve, started kind of getting high, and now it's kind of starting to get low, but it's going to taper out. So still got to stay on it. Like I said, I still have the well running right now, just to make sure once we're out of the clear, once I see that we're not so freaking hot over 100 every single day, then I'll go ahead and pull back on the well. And it doesn't lose a whole lot of water on a regular day, but when you have those extreme days, yeah, we lose some water. So especially when it's windy like this, the windiness just it's a killer on a pond as far as pulling the water out. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much wrap up the video. Just a quick little tidbit of information. I know a lot of people are curious, and a lot of people are interested in the pond and how to maintain it, how to run it, and stuff like that. A lot of people, it's their first time doing it too. So yeah, without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, God bless. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.